Attachment. A nice word to start speaking about relationship sphere. Most of my life I wasn't concerned much about my attachment patterns, being focused on hobbies, studying, sports, and academic achievements. However, during past year, things have changed. I'll start my story from June 2023, the month of the beginning of the first romantic relationship in my life. It lasted 3 months. Short period of time, however insightful. In the beginning, I was observing what the other person does, tried to be slow in my decisions, to be attentive to my feelings and behavior. But as soon as I let myself depend more on a person, let myself seek more support from him, my anxiety have arisen. I could have spent half a day waiting for a reply, rereading my messages to understand if they look adequate or not, guessing what the person is doing in the moment and when he'll be able to call or text me. I perceived myself as a person who gets what one wants, who knows their wills, and who is comfortable with oneself and with others. However, it turned out that in a relationship with an unresponsive figure, I felt myself less confident, depended more on other person's preferences, and constantly ruminated thoughts where I could have failed during communication. The last 2 months of the relationship, I found myself being high in attachment anxiety. Then we broke up. In spite of all obstacles, I wanted to be closer, but the person didn't. I could do nothing with other person's will, even if I wanted to. That day I went outside and spent 3 hours just walking and listening to songs, reminding me of the moments in the relationships. Once I noticed, I do feel pain. However, I do not feel anxiety anymore. Things are clear. No means no, and I do not have to stress myself or try to reach him and get more attention. This is how I realized. I was really high in attachment anxiety during this love story. As in the ocean, there are ebbs and there are flows of attachment. According to questionnaire I filled, I can show both tendencies, to be avoidant and to be anxious. After the breakup, my avoidant patterns have taken over. I guess it was a protest, unwillingness to take risks again, to be close. I found a job in social media sphere and went completely into it. I had several conversations with my friends telling them I cannot be as close with them as they wanted me to be. I had no time. I had no desire to do this. It was so easy to convince myself that money and academic achievements will define my life satisfaction. I need to train regulating emotions only by myself, was my motto. With the end of autumn, the defensive self-enhancement period have finished. Thanks to my self-reflection, I've noticed that I began to be cold with people, was lacking of communication, lost some friends, didn't date anyone and was on the edge of the burnout. It was winter, the New Year season, and I decided to dedicate my 2024 to changes. Despite the previous experience that let my anxiety and then avoidance attachment patterns manifest, I still had an experience of building secure connections. Also, I remember my parents to be safe people to talk with, and they still are. My mom helped me a lot, listening to me and my doubts, reminding me about situations when I performed as a nice friend. I have written about my feelings a lot, which also helped me to process my problems. I teach social media sphere and completed my studies as yoga teacher. Now, during my yoga work, I learn how to communicate with people directly. I have started sharing my news, thoughts and feelings with my friends and started engaging communication first, started showing my preferences to people. This year was hard, but now I know it is not scary to be rejected, and there are always people who are for me, who are my attachment figures and for whom I can provide safety and security to. Of course, not everything is figured out yet. While observing my communication and my emotions, I've realized that I tend to be high in attachment avoidance in friendship and to be high in attachment anxiety in romantic sphere. I would like to explore my attachment patterns more. Because of studying this topic now, I consider it to be normal to show different attachment patterns. However, there is a place for improvement. Maybe understanding the peculiarities of my attachment will help me to balance both types of relationships, friendship and romantic ones, and to become more confident in my ability of building strong and healthy bonds. So what about now? I came to conclusion that relationships matter. In the end of the day, we remember moments with people and share moments with them. By understanding my attachment patterns, I managed to change my behavior, to save building bonds, and to gain new friends. Now the question is how to foster these communications in the secure way. It seems like a lot of work on myself, and like a journey at the same time. Then let the journey be continued.